This episode is personal. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, Inglewood, one of the most notorious neighborhoods in this country. And in the middle of all that chaos, I had strong role models. My father was the first. Also on that Mount Rushmore of men who raised me is Coach Cruz, a state of Illinois Hall of Fame football coach who spent his life pulling young men out of the fire. Sports, teams, coaches, these things help. For Coach Cruz, shaping young men wasn't just a job. It was his calling. It gave him his fulfillment in life. He is the epitome of doing God's work. Welcome to the Alpha Renaissance with Coach Albert Lee Cruse II. Coach?
Hey, Top, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm groovy.
Good.
Groovy.
Was that a good introduction for you?
That was a great introduction.
Did I miss anything?
You didn't miss anything. You did a great job.
Coach, you're like a savant on the south side of Chicago, but not just the south side, everywhere. But we love you more on the south side because you one of us,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And we are of you.
Yes, most certainly.
You've been around for a long time. Was very instrumental in my life growing up as my football coach at Englewood High School. And to this day, I remember so many things that you said, drive,
Yes,
we do Oklahoma drills.
Yes, sir.
We're hitting the dummies. All of your phrases still live in my head. It's a testament to you. And it's a testament to sports as well. When did you kind of realize that sports could be a lifeline for young men?
For young men, difficult story, but true story. I had to leave my parents' house to participate in football. My parents were like, you can play basketball, baseball, hockey, tennis, checkers, but you will not play football in this house. So I had to make a decision. Do I obey my parents or do I go live with my grandmother? My grandmother had a third grade education. And she said, baby, if you want to play that football, then you come on over here, but you must graduate from high school because I don't want your mom to say that I let you come over here and you didn't finish high school. So promise me if you come, that will be your number one objective. Football is good, but I need you to graduate. So I did. And I knew if it meant that much to me, there was somebody else that it had to mean that much for, So I left my parents' house and chased the game. And the game has been so very good to me.
Why were your parents so adamant against you playing football?
I never figured it out. We never touched on it, Parents back then either said you do and you did.
But was it like religious or was it?
It had nothing to do with religion.
Okay.
I think my parents just felt like, they just didn't have an understanding of this game that made you so aggressive. And I believe as I grew in the game, sneaking to practice, and at my junior year, I decided I got to make a move, So that was that.
What attracted you to the game then? Was it the aggressiveness? What was it?
Yes, because I tried basketball and it was good. It was good. And I tried baseball. It was good. Those things did not have that feel of that oomph, that feeling of completion.
Yeah.
Football, you run into a guy, you drive him into the ground, and either he looks at you or you look at him, but at that moment, I got him. Can't get that in basketball. Football, nobody rescues you in that game.
No.
In basketball, you drive to the bucket, guy foul you, ref blow the whistle. You know what I mean? Football, guy drives you into the ground. The referee may come over and say, hey, man, good job. Great job, young man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like that. You know what I mean? And so those things kind of motivated me. And I like that. I like that. It made me feel good.
When you're a young man trying to prove yourself, something about being able to go toe-to-toe in the confines of the game helped you probably express yourself.
Yes. You could be as aggressive as you wanted to within the rules. play physical, play aggressive within the rules, and it's fulfilling.
Yeah.
I think every young man or young lady should find something. As my parents, and here's a weird situation. My parents raised me on the premise that find something that you love and run with it. Be great at it.
Yeah. Focus on that one thing.
I thought football was that. Well,
Yeah.
I know football was that for me because it allowed me to go from high school to college and then becoming a coach. I tried to become a professional athlete. That didn't work. And then here we are, somebody presents the coaching situation to me and I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I love this.
Did you play at a collegiate level?
Yes, I played at
I
college
think you
level.
played AFL, XFL.
No, I had trials in the USFL.
The USFL.
The original USFL.
The original one, yes.
The original USFL, yes.
Yeah.
And, just, you have those experiences and you don't want to walk away from the game.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel like the game doesn't want you to walk away from it. So the issue becomes then, what's my next step?
Yeah. Well, it's difficult for people when they're leaving something that they love so much. I mean, I'm sure that was very difficult for you to deal with.
I refuse to leave.
Yeah. So you turned that into coaching.
Yes.
And that's where I met you. I met you in Inglewood.
Yeah.
And Inglewood, Chicago is known for being a brutal.
At that time, it was tough. It was tough. It was a tough place to be.
Yeah, it was a tough place.
I chose to coach at schools like Crane, Inglewood, Finger, Sullivan, places where it was tough.
Yeah, And these schools also have high recruitment for basketball.
Yes, all of those are great basketball schools.
Great basketball schools.
Yeah,
like
great basketball
so many
schools.
Kevin Garnett's. Come out of there.
Yes. But for me, you went to Inglewood, so we'll talk about Inglewood. Inglewood was a gold mine.
Yeah,
and I've written several times about the gold that is in the Inglewood community and how sad it is that our city has allowed it to be ignored.
Yeah,
because that school, that environment, that community is just loaded with talent.
Tons of talent. Tons of talent. But there are oftentimes, what do you think prevents people from actually activating that talent?
People have planted the seed that it's not the place to be. We as adults have perpetuated the gang situation. We've made it. We've contributed. We've had a role in that by saying that oh no, I'm not sending my kid to Englewood. The gangbangers there, or they're different gangs. Well, I've been in California. There are different gangs in California, but everybody still goes to the same high school. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And everybody still socializes in the same places. It's a community. Yeah. And Englewood is a community, and it's one of the oldest communities in the city of Chicago. Yes. Englewood High School, if I'm not mistaken, has produced more doctors, lawyers, and artists than any high school in the city.
Well, Englewood was one of the first high schools ever created in the state of Illinois, let alone and even in Chicago. Back in the day when we had the Hyde Park rivalry, with the school down the street, that was one of the oldest high school rivalries
in the country. That's right. Yeah. That's right. So as adults and as we've perpetuated the situation that the Englewood community is not what many other communities are, when actually it is, and it may even be better. Yeah. And I believe the city of Chicago realizes that also because, I don't know if you remember, but they actually came to the Englewood community and took all the higher reading and math scores out of the community, and they sent them to the places like Whitney Young, Walter Payton, Irvin, to these places that they wanted to highlight. Yeah. So the brain thrust at Whitney Young is not all from Whitney Young. Totally. In that community. Yeah. The brain thrust of Walter Payton is not only from that area. It comes from places like Englewood. Yeah, totally. So we've helped to contribute to the negative.
As adults.
As adults. Yeah. Yes, we have.
So how you saw it was like you wanted to be an adult that came to not just Englewood, it's all these communities, right? Yeah. Where kids are disadvantaged and they're given a narrative and everyone lives and dies by that narrative. That's right. And it doesn't, I always felt like the adults weren't doing a good job of challenging anything it was just like, you're gonna live here, you're gonna live like this. This is the only way, and you're gonna die like this. And I think some of it had to do with those adults just weren't exposed to any other way themselves. They may have been products of those same environments.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was no other way to exist but the way that was given to you.
Yeah. Well, I tend to agree with you. You know, I just felt compelled. I just felt it was absolutely necessary. When I was given the offer by my college coach to come to Inglewood and become the football coach and the dean of students, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, Cruz, you don't have to take that job. You can get a job.
Yeah.
You know, some other
non-gratuitous job, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? No glory in the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I had watched gentlemen like Coach Curry at Robeson.
Yes.
Coach Lonnie Williams at King, who were long time, lifelong committed to the environments they worked in, which were areas similar to Inglewood. And so when you have guys like that you can look at and see that they produced great, what they're there for, athletes, football players, who go off to college, who use football as an opportunity to branch themselves in other areas.
Mm-hmm.
But without football, would they have ever had that opportunity to branch?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The lessons we learn in the game. The lessons we learn in the game are immense.
Those people you remember, I mean, just hearing those names.
Yes.
I remember those two-a-days, those summer camps.
Yes.
And they were hard on us.
Yeah.
All you guys were very hard on us. And we, you know, teenage boys.
That's right. That's right.
Mischievous. That's right. Also, the environment. It's just so much going on, so much to stimulate you.
Yes.
You guys had to be really tough on us to keep us focused and, you know, to win.
Yes, we did. You know.
Do you remember what it was like your first season at Englewood?
Oh my God, do I remember? Quick story. I got there in January.
This is what year? 98?
98. Right after Englewood, it went like 9 or 10-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
And there was a great quarterback there. He's a great quarterback. It's January, I don't see him. It's March, I don't see him. June comes. Hey, Coach Cruz, he coming back. Where you been? He ain't in school. You don't need to see him. August comes. True story. You know, the big fence around the stadium.
Yeah.
Kids are just starting to holler. There he is. He's coming. There he is, Coach Cruz. He back. And I'm like, who are y'all talking about? It's the quarterback. The kid walks over to that fence. He takes one hand and puts on that fence. He's over the fence on the track.
That's a tall fence, by the way.
It's a tall fence.
Maybe like
8 feet.
Yeah, 8 feet easily, if not 9.
He cleared that joke.
Yeah.
And I mean, he may have cleared it by about 2 feet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at this kid like, Lord have mercy. One of the kids throwing the football. He came running to me and he was about to throw the football. I said, don't throw that football. If I see you throw that football, I'm going to play you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So son, show me your transcripts. Let me see your grades. Got no grades.
None.
Got no transcripts.
Bad grades.
Where you been, son? Well, you know, I go down south every year after football season and I go to work and help my family. And I'm like, that's beautiful, but we need some grades to play you. Needless to say, he never played at Englewood, you know, and never had a regret, but more sorrow than anything else.
Yeah. Because
this was a kid who was probably destined to be something in life, but we just couldn't get him off the ground under my leadership. We just couldn't do it.
It was it sounds like it was a lot of intersection with how life was changing, right? We're talking late 90s, early 2000s, how life was changing and how people were trying to adapt to those changes.
Yes.
You know, much like right now, right? Like you have technology, you have artificial intelligence, you have people being told that, hey, what you're going to school right now is not even worth it. It's not going to mean anything. Robots are going to be telling us what to do.
That's right.
Right. And it sounds like there was a lot of desperation, very much how it is now for Gen Z, for kids all across the country, not just in these communities, like everywhere, right?
Exactly. Oh yeah.
How did you deal with that desperation? How did you
at that
address it?
time?
How did you address it? Yeah, especially at the
time.
beginning.
In the 90s, the late 90s, there was a big gang issue
Yeah,
in Inglewood.
huge.
And I had to operate around that, you know. And we were able to do so by finding who the key players were in the community, talking to them, making them understand that I've never been a part of any gang in my life. And what I was bringing, the doctrine I was bringing to the Englewood community was football, athletics, you know. And we wanted to change some kids' life through athletics. Well, one thing funny about guys who are plugged into that thing, they understand. When they see somebody who's about something different that can help their family. You know what I'm saying? Because the way they're helping their family right now is short-lived.
Yeah.
But what you're bringing to the table may put them in a position to change the dynamics of their entire family, you know? So we dealt with them where they were. I couldn't project anything phony because it just wasn't in me.
Yeah.
I just got to go. I just got to come talk to you. You know what I'm saying? I would go to the projects. I go to the buildings, and I talk to those guys. Hey, man, listen, you got 10 guys up in here I need.
Yeah.
They say, Coach Cruz, tell me who they are. They'll be down here every day.
I don't think people understand what that means. When you say you had to go to the buildings, when you had Chicago at this time is unlike anywhere, any place you've ever seen. Right?
Yes, sir.
You go to a building; these buildings are skyscrapers.
Yes, sir. 16 stories.
16 stories, even more than that. Some of them, Coach.
Yeah.
And they are ran like an LLC.
Yes, sir.
And it's security.
Yes, sir.
People know exactly who's walking up, and when you go into those buildings, you better be who you say you are.
That's right.
Or it's going to be a big problem.
It's going to be a problem
for you.
Yeah.
By the way, and guess what? Much like the football field, no one is going to come and save you.
No.
When the referee comes,
that's right,
to that project building, they're going to say, "Hey," to the other guys, "Hey, good job. You did.
You did your job.
You did your job. He wasn't supposed to be here."
That's right. That's right.
So the level of intimidation and for you to do that was not, you weren't just walking, into a luxury condo association.
No.
There's no HOA.
No.
It's CHA.
Yes.
Chicago Housing
There
Authority.
you go. There you go. There you go. You got it. You got it.
So you walk into these buildings.
Yes.
And you're talking to these guys.
Yeah.
What are you telling them? What's the conversation like?
I want your little brother. I want your little brother to come play for Englewood High School. I think your little brother could be successful. We can get him in college. We can change his life. You know what I mean? And I'm never saying I don't want your little brother to be like you, but meaning that this is generational change move. And when you think about some of the families, we had some great families.
Yeah.
The Carr family, the Salams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My big issue was if I get one brother, I want them all. What did I do wrong that you won't allow me to coach all your boys?
Mm.
And if you notice, we had an onslaught of brothers on the team.
And who were you talking to often? Big brother, father, mother?
Big brothers.
Big brothers typically.
Typically big brothers. You know what I mean? Uncle.
Yeah.
A cousin who knew that what he was doing was for him, but it ain't for my family.
Yeah. The street life. This is not. It's not for them.
I don't want him to have to live like this. So, Coach, if you serious, you got him. And they would literally bring their brothers and cousins. Hey, Coach, you ain't met him yet, but he gonna play for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So you appeal to whoever you can get to in that building. Generally, there's gonna be somebody who run that building.
Generally.
And they're going to. It's amazing how they find out more about you and what you're about than you'll probably even ever know about them.
Yeah.
They ask a lot of questions of other people, and they found out Coach Cruz is he's square as he want to be. He about football. Send them kids over there. So we had every nationality and I'm saying nationality, but every nation under the sun playing for us.
Yeah.
But we were a team. We didn't acknowledge those things on the field.
What you're saying is that you had so many different street organizations.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You had kids that were representing different sets.
Yes.
And the way you were able to organize them on the football field, none of that mattered.
None of that mattered.
And it was also okay for them to play football together and quote unquote drop the flag at that point, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have to represent. None of that mattered. The only team that they were the football
I'm an Englewood
team.
Eagle.
Yeah, you were
I'm an
Eagle.
Englewood Eagle. Yeah. You know, our girls were the same way.
Yeah.
You know, our girls bought in. You know, we had trainers. We had kids that came out, spray the water. You know, girls. You know, we became a family, and I use that and I don't use that loosely. You know, I see you guys now. You know what I mean, and it's much love.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if you remember this phrase, but take what you got and make it better.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no excuse for failure because whatever I give you, you are going to take it and you're going to grow with it. So let's do
Play with the one thing I loved about what you did for me and so many others is there was no allowance for victimization.
No, we're not having.
You were not going to allow anyone to feel sorry for themselves for any reason.
No.
And I remember kids having really big, you know, they had problems.
Yeah, we had issues.
Everybody had problems, you know.
We had issues.
Guys had serious issues going on. Yeah. I mean, they running for their lives. They got themselves into something, substance abuse with parents, you know, violence, gun violence, right?
Yeah.
And so you still wouldn't allow any of us to pity ourselves.
Well, again, you know, mom and pops were hard.
Yeah.
But they didn't play the pity game. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mom and pops were like, listen now, how you going to get through this? We're not coming up there to get you out of this. How you going to get through this? You know, pops would always say, now, when you go to jail, when you decide you want to do something stupid, you go to jail, you need to figure out how you're going to get out. Because I'm working too hard at the steel mill to spend my money to get you out of jail.
Yeah. All those things that you're dealing with, right? No matter what you say, like all the things that you are dealing with there, those are external. But what internally can you dictate? You might interact with whatever and society. People don't like you because of whatever. Mm-hmm. But what does that mean to you? Like if it doesn't mean anything to you, it's just another obstacle that you go past.
Yes. You know, hit me with that in a little bit. Come back to that with me. Back to that with me. Let me think on that.
I mean, I definitely want to touch back on that because I have a lot of thoughts on that, you know. But in the community, was it anything in the Inglewoods, right? Was it anything about football itself that you think was very attractive for young men?
Well, you know, football is instant gratification. It's instant gratification. You're going to know, did Coach Cruz talk me into something or do I want to be here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, for me as a coach, either one is fine. I need you. But for you, you know, did I just let this man talk me into doing something that I may not have got involved in?
Yeah.
But, and understand where I'm coming from. That's the mentality of people who recruit gang members also.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And I need to match that mentality, or I'm not going to get you. You're going to go to the other side. I don't need you on the other side. I need people looking at the Englewood community saying, wow, it's changing. You know, and if you want to change an environment, start at the school.
Yeah.
If you want to change the environment, start at the school.
Yeah.
And I just believe that Crane, Inglewood, Finger, any of those places, Sullivan, you start at the school and you're going to make a difference. Now, you know, our city has made some drastic changes over the years where we don't support athletics, especially elementary school.
Yeah.
So we're missing an opportunity to change environment.
Very early.
Very early. Yeah. And there was a day when we had elementary school football programs in every school.
Yeah.
Or at least accessible.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, in communities. Now we don't have that anymore. Now we got a crime rate that's a lot higher. And I believe that those young men had an opportunity back then in the early 90s to gravitate to football.
Yeah.
Largest team sport in the country. You know, you got 25, 30 elementary school kids. You got you look across the city, you got 500, 600 kids who are not thinking about anything else but becoming, part of something positive.
Man, you know what's powerful about football is it is a team sport, and more people can play it than not, right? Like, I love basketball, but you can only have so many people on the team, right?
That's right.
Whereas like football, you can have, it's a community. Your team is a community. You got a ton, 40, 50 people on the team, not more, right? And they all doing different jobs, but they all contribute, and they all working together. And like right now, living in Texas, right? I live in Austin, right?
Oh my God,
and
football heaven.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
You always think like, man, I wonder what it would have been like to play with this amount of resources. But it's not just the resources. It's not just the money. It's the dedication that everyone has in the community to making sure like they put those boys in football 5 years old, 4 years old. They got them going. And you go to a practice with them, and they're not following the rules. They're not paying attention, but they're there. They're there. They give them a ball. They run the wrong direction. They dropping the ball.
It's okay.
It's okay. But they're starting them off. They're spending as men in the community, spending time with those kids, those boys, to get them actually just thinking about it. The funny thing happened, like, so we put our 5-year-old into flag football.
Okay.
And dude, he was like, he never cared about anything else. All he cared about was stuffies, and his socks, and being, just toys.
Yes.
He still cares about those things, but when we put him in football, just after like 2 weeks of practice, he was crazy about it.
It's amazing.
And then like the first time, like when football came back on, Sunday night football, he was like, I want to watch it. And I was like, you do? You never want to watch it. You want to watch cartoons. You want to watch animals. You want to watch it. And I was like, wow, this is the impact. Like you can't make that up, right? You can't just, I don't know what else I could have did to get him into it. Like he has a football in his hand instead of a stuffed animal now, which the progression, you see that, and it's all because of this so beautiful team sport of ours, right?
Yes.
Just phenomenal. I didn't know that we even had back in the day in Chicago that there were elementary football programs. I mean, that's a huge game changer.
You're talking about a 5-year-old. So we weren't even bringing them in until like 5th or 6th grade. But at that point, they were like the kid with the stuffed animal. They had found something that was nice for them, something they enjoyed, something that mommy was proud of. Daddy stuck his chest out.
That's true.
Grandma showed up on Saturday. Auntie showed up. You know what I mean? Little sister became a cheerleader because brother was playing football. You got what I'm saying?
Totally.
You know, we've just taken a young man of 10, 11 years old, and made him a magnet for the family. He's drawn in 10 people from his family and the community. You know what I'm saying? Because Miss Smith, once she found out he playing football down the street, Miss Smith was like, that boy playing football? I got to go see that boy play.
Yeah, I got to see him.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
they like Tommy?
No, not Tommy. Not Tommy. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch him play. So now what we've done, we've taken a kid and used them as a magnet to draw an entire community together.
Yeah.
And now Tommy becomes, well, I don't care what they say about that boy around the corner. He ain't better than Tommy. Now we got some rivalry going. So now folk all coming to the game to see Tommy play against Bobby. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you look up and it's a barbecue grill out there. So now Uncle Bob out there, he's turning hot dogs. You know what I mean? And it just becomes it's a game. It's a game that draws people in from all walks of life. You know, the bank president understands football.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The CEO of the company understands football.
Everybody understands football.
The teacher who has Tommy, and notice, Tommy has changed since he's been playing football. I got to go see Tommy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody understands what this game can do for a community. And so, yes, I love this game. I think this game has made a profound effect. It's had a profound effect on my life.
Yeah.
My son is a college coach now.
Wow.
You know, and Albert Lee Cruse III.
Little Albert. Little Al.
The guy that you all raised.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have time to raise him because I was with y'all.
We used to have him working with us. Going out doing stuff with us.
You know, so now, you know, he's a college coach.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'll go up to watch him coach a couple of weeks ago, his first college game. You know, and it was for me, it was heartwarming. It was emotional, you know, because he's been around this game and he has hundreds of brothers. He's an only child, but he has hundreds of brothers.
Yeah.
You know, because of this game. And so football is the kind of game that will not only change your life, but it will change oodles of lives around you.
Something about you get these young men together that they sweat.
Yes.
They cry.
Yes.
They do cry.
Yes, we do.
And when it happens,
yes,
on a high school football field, it's a feeling you've never experienced in your life because you're all peers.
Yes.
And when you see, it's not the weak ones that cry.
No, it's the strong jokes.
It's the strongest ones that cry.
It's the it's amazing. You know, good point, very good point.
When you see them cry, and it's nothing. I remember that feeling of losing.
Yeah.
Losing.
Yeah.
Somebody cries.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And the way that galvanizes you, the way you just want your comeback,
yeah.
the way that person becomes your brother for life.
For life.
It's nothing like that.
That's right.
It's nothing like that.
That's right. And that's what we preach. That's what we preach at Englewood or anywhere we coach. You know, I can remember being at Harper High School with Coach Terry Lewis. And Coach Lewis was the guy who gave me my first paying coaching job. Now,
paying what?
My first paying coaching job.
It wasn't voluntary.
No,
internship.
Watch this though. So I'm at Shernan's. I'm working at Shernan's shoe store, hustling shoes. You know, selling women's shoes. He comes in. I know you don't. I don't know. You know, we go through all the formalities, and we come down to the point that I played college football with his favorite, one of his most productive players. Donald Gatlin. And so he says to me in Shernan's, he says, you coach at Hyde Park? I said, yes, sir. He said, boy, how much they pay you? I said, pay. He said, you know, high school coaches get paid, don't you? I said, well, I've been at Hyde Park 3 years, I ain't never got a dime, but I'm there on time, ready to go for 3 years. Coach Lewis said, come here, son, let me tell you something. He said, look, I'm gonna give you $500. $500. I'm gonna give you $500 a year. You come over there and coach at Harvard.
$500 a year?
$500 a year. He said, I'm gonna give you $500 for the season. So that's your year. But you know, at Harper, you got to go recruit. You know, Coach Lewis was like, we going out here to recruit now. So don't think the day after the season is over, we through. We start recruiting, you know, for the next year.
Yeah.
And I said, 500. He said, yes, I'm gonna give you 500. He said, how much they give you at Park? He said again, how much they give you at Park? I said, they ain't gave me nothing. He said, well, I'm gonna give you 500. You show up in my office tomorrow, and we're gonna have an interview. I'm gonna interview you, and we're gonna work this thing out.
Yeah, interview.
Yeah. And I'm just fired up, man. I'm about to get $500. Now I've been in that park 3 years and not got a quarter, not even a thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, I go in there, and Coach Lewis say, I told you I'm gonna give you 500. You know what? This is after the interview. You know what? I think I could give you about 6. 600? You gonna give me 600? You gonna give me 600? Coach, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Next day I come, I done got rid of all that blue and white. I'm in red and gray.
I now understand why we hated Hyde Park so much. It all making sense is coming back. We had to beat them.
Man, I thought, look, man, so you know, it was just great, man. The game has been good. You know, coaches, mentors, you know, Coach Lewis, and Coach Curry, Coach Lonnie Williams, you know, we would all, you know, we ran the Harper.
Yeah.
We you know, the gang thing was bad.
I remember.
But we put the shoulder pads in the truck.
Yeah, and we
helmets on, and we running from what's that, Princeton?
Yeah.
To Racine to all down 63rd Street.
We used to run the Robeson.
Run the Robeson. Look, they said, y'all can't, that's gang lines. Man, we going down the street. No, we didn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those
you were like that. You were kind of like the what was it, Morgan Freeman and Lean on Me?
Hey, that's what they tell me. That's what they tell
Joe Clark?
That's
how you were. You were a living embodiment of Joe Clark. Like, you literally did what you wanted to do. And I remember a lot of great teachers at Englewood, but they would be upset. Mm-hmm. And I think partly because you were able to pull it off. Yeah. And then I think there was some substantial, I feel like it was stuff going on. Yeah. But you pulled it off. I mean, we would be running through gang territory. Like, and very serious, by the way. Not a game. Some of the guys on the team in those gangs.
They was plugged.
Yeah, they're plugged.
But the gangs didn't mind as long as they were in Inglewood uniform, running to a destination where they were going to do something specific, and that was play football. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we had all nations, so it's kind of hard to attack a group of guys and your guys with them. You know what I mean? Exactly. And that was one of my mindsets that I want everybody. I want it all encompassing. Yeah. Because if we're all encompassing, can't nobody say he's leaning towards or he's leaning towards. I want everybody.
Well, many of the friend groups will become all encompassing as well.
Yes.
Because they were friends from football, and even though they were from different sets, they're from different nations, they still were able to be friends and have strong friend groups that actually probably decreased a lot of tension.
It most certainly did.
Because they weren't going to fight each other, especially if they were on a team.
Yes. You know, we were blessed that, first of all, we never had an incident amongst the team.
Yes.
We never had an incident amongst the team. But what you just mentioned was we used the team to change a community. We used the team to change a community. There was no football player at Englewood who could not go to Harper. I don't know if you remember Kenny Turner. You remember Kenny Turner?
Yeah, I remember.
You know, when things got bad, we had to send Kenny Turner to Harper.
Yeah.
And he went to Harper in peace and harmony, went over there and helped them win a conference championship.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, it hurt us, but we had to send him. You got what I'm saying?
I remember I had a little stint at Harper as well.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah, very close for a little bit, but then I came back.
Okay.
I missed Englewood.
Yeah. You know, so, I mean, we use football, and we used that team at Englewood at that time to help change a community. Yeah. Now, the change was coming whether we wanted it or not, because, you know, they started building those new homes right there on Princeton, and that really, you know, played a role in the changing of the community. But we did our job to help precipitate the change. Yeah. And our job was to go wherever we wanted to in peace and harmony and use football as our way of saying it's going to be all right. Yeah. Everything's going to be all right. Yeah. And we did that. Our girls, softball, we went everywhere with our girls. You know, no problem. We coming back home, our softball teams, you know. So, you know, you look at athletics, not just football, but athletics. And if you got people at the helm that want to make a difference, then things can change.
A lot of, you know, Englewood and these kids, especially from these backgrounds, these rough backgrounds, they, you know, not a lot of discipline in the homes. Exactly. I mean, that's why the grades are bad. Not a lot of discipline in many things. Yeah. And when you become an athlete, you have to be so well-rounded. Mm-hmm. How did you infuse discipline? Well, kids where they had and again, that's very similar to how it is now, right? With you everything that you need, you could possibly want is just a click away, right? You don't really have to work hard. You could just work and be okay. We saw that with the pandemic, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you get unemployment, you get PPP loan, you know, you can live and just be comfortable. Yeah. No change. But the activation is what's really difficult. How are you able to activate these young kids?
I think, you know, first of all, we start talking about discipline. I'm not accepting what your parents are accepting. Yeah. Can't bring Coach Cruz D's in there. Mm-hmm. I ain't having it. You know what I'm saying? But my coaches didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? Coach Scott was the kind of guy that sent me out and says, listen now, I'm not your mama. I'm not your daddy. This is what I expect from you. And if you want to be a part of this is what you're going to do. I can think of Coach Husband at Crane, same way. You know, I want these particular grades because I need to try to help you get in school, change your life. Yeah. So it starts with, you know, setting some parameters. You know, no, you're not my son, but you are my son. You are my son. Yeah. Because I got you more hours than your mom and daddy got you. Yeah. You know, I got you, 6 hours in school and then another 3 hours after school for practice. You know, when you go home, generally you're going right to bed because I done dogged you out so bad. You're going to bed.
Yeah.
And so putting kids in a position where they are going to perform for you, then they're going to go home, they're going to lay it down, do some studying, get some books in, you see what I'm saying? And come back and be ready to do it again the next day. But the biggest issue is I am not accepting what is acceptable in your house to some degree. Now, we had some parents that said, look, I want grades.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we had
For
those.
sure.
But for those who did not have it, Coach Cruz law.
Yeah.
You know, give me what I want. Now, that was always, I'm going to kick you off the team. I'm not sending you nowhere.
Yeah.
Because if I send you somewhere, you're going to go where I don't want you. So I'm keeping you. I never cut a kid. We're never going to put
Yeah, so how do you know how did you know dealing with these young men? How did you know when, or did you know, like, this is a kid that's unreachable? I can't do anything with this kid. I can't do anything with this guy.
Well, I would be lying if I said we didn't have a few guys like that. But my whole thing to them is when you see me in the real world, what's going to be your approach to them? And what's amazing to me is that those guys come up to me right now and say, Coach Cruz, I just wish I'd have listened.
Yeah.
I've yet to have one say, I wish you'd have gave me another chance. Because I'm going to let you chance your way out of it. I'm going to give you chance after chance after chance. But those kind of kids generally just end up drifting away.
Yeah.
And you lose them. And you feel it. You feel it right here. But I got to let you go because I got 30 other jokers over there I'm trying to save. So as much as it hurts me for you to drift away, I would let you drift away than to send you away. I think there's a difference there. You know, I'll let you drift away. I'm not gonna send you away.
How did how did coaching change for you when social media started to come around?
You know,
when kids were like so absorbed in their phones
yeah.
and things were didn't have echoes in real life, right? What was that like?
Well, you know, I think, thank God it didn't happen during the early years of my coaching career. You know what I mean? Because we were hard on kids.
Yeah.
We didn't, ain't no everybody getting treated the same.
Yeah.
You know, and so social media brought a thing where I had a principal. I cannot think of this lady's name. You know, the reality was, you know, we did some things with discipline in the wood.
Yes.
You know. You know what I'm saying? We did some things with discipline in the wood, you know what I'm saying, that just were not, you know, acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Under the new auspices of discipline. You know what I'm saying?
You were indeed you were indeed Joe Clark.
Yeah.
Because
we did some different things.
And the thing about it was, it wasn't, man, you had to talk to these kids in a way. You had to talk to us in a way. Because one, we were smart, we were strong, we were confident.
Yeah.
You know, I remember some of the most confident kids I ever met was just kids I like grew up with, you know, on the South Side.
Yeah.
And you had to meet us where we were because we were we come from a world where in order to survive, you have to beat your opponent.
No doubt about it.
And that's what we were ready to do at any moment. We were ready to beat you.
Yes.
Outsmart you.
Yes.
And it was always a tug of war.
Always a game.
Always a game.
Yes.
Anywhere we go, we trying to figure out every angle. How can I defeat this person?
How can I defeat him? Yeah. And my objective and my coaching staff's objective had to be, we won't be beat.
Yeah.
We won't be beat. We're going to win, and the way we're going to win is going to be different. It's going to be physical. Sometimes you may have to snatch a joker up and talk to him in a very close proximity and make him understand, boy is talking to man.
Yes. Yes.
You know, boy is talking to man. Do you understand that, son? You know what I'm saying? And generally we got through. You know, and coaches could not, I can't be You know, some of those guys came from houses where they were the man.
Yes.
But all of a sudden, you come to practice and you a boy. You can't call me no boy, son. You are a boy.
And they've been treated like
men,
the men in their
houses. Yes.
And you come there, you're like, actually, you're 15.
Yes. And you need to understand
and I'm
that.
double your age, not more.
No, yes.
Yeah.
You know, so Talk, we had to approach it differently. You know, today, speaking of social media, today's society does not want us to be that kind of a man. This is just my opinion. Society does not want us to be that kind of a man anymore. You understand? So I believe that society wants us to be a much more humble man to boy, so that boy will feel like he's something that he's not.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Totally.
And I cannot buy into that philosophy even today. You know, I've coached four different states, you know, and times have changed in each of those states.
Technology has changed.
Everything.
Customs have changed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I went to California and I had to learn to respect customs.
Yeah.
Because I'm coaching a Japanese kid who says, please don't come to my house and say that to my parents. My parents, they're not going to accept that. You know, please, coach, please don't come. You know, I
play football. Yeah.
But I could go knock at the door in Chicago. Hey, it's Coach Cruz.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, what you want? How can we help you? I want your son.
Yeah.
Okay, coach, you got it. But this Japanese kid says to me in California, coach, if you do that, my parents are going to kill me.
Mm.
And he said it with face just
flush.
changed.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like, this boy's serious.
Mm.
But then other kids come to me and say, Coach Cruz, please don't go to his house. And his custom, when it's no has been said, it's no.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm from Chicago. I didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? And then I've coached kids to look like me all my life. Now I'm out in California. I only got one kid that I'm coaching in my position that looks like me.
Yeah.
So I need to learn customs and respect those.
Yeah, totally.
You know, so I learned a lot in California.
So much more diverse in Cali.
So much more.
Just I mean, coastal cities are just, the two coasts are just different.
They're two different worlds.
They're different worlds.
They're different worlds,
Yeah,
you know? And so, you know, you lifelong learner.
Yeah.
As a coach, I need to be a lifelong learner.
You come from a city where we have our own culture.
Yes.
And it's a city culture. You don't really realize until you leave.
Until you leave.
And you're like, oh, everybody in the city kind of gets down the same.
Yes.
And it's even across ethnic groups.
Yes.
Like New York is a place like that, right? Where it's less like, this is the culture of the city, right? And then you go to Cali, it's different. It's an individual culture.
Yes,
and every little unit has their own culture. They interact with the main culture, but the main culture of Southern California, to me, is like that small, right? Yes. Because there's so many other like microcultures coming out of it, which is so different than when you're east.
Yes. You know, and you know, Chicago, we're divided. You know, you got Chinatown, you got this town, you got Little Italy, you know what I mean? So you know when you go over there to recruit a kid over there, you know what to expect.
You know what to do. You know,
exactly.
you know the custom.
Yeah.
But it's still a similar custom.
Yes, it is. Still Chicago.
It's still Chicago, yeah.
You know, but you know how to carry yourself in those environments. You know, so until I went to Sullivan, I had coached nothing but kids that look like you.
Yeah.
And I always told kids in California, Sullivan prepared me to come to California years later. You know, 36 different nationalities of people. You know, you got parent grade pickup night. You got people speaking 20 different languages.
Yeah.
But they all seem to understand each other. There's a certain amount of respect, you know. And I learned that at Sullivan, and I picked that up at Sullivan, and I just put it in my memory bank. But it came back when I got to Cali. You know, I have to, you know, balance this thing now. You know, I just can't go be Coach Cruz right out the block.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta be a little humble.
What was it about coaching young black men that's been different than coaching any other demographic? Particularly inner city young black men.
Parents. There are women who want you to be a father to their son as much as they want you to be a coach to their son in our community. You cannot be a father to a kid in other communities the way you can be to a father to a kid that looks like Taki. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have one of my kids here now from California. He's playing, he signed with Valparaiso University.
Mm-hmm.
Marco. You know, the only one I could get to leave California. But his parents believed that Coach Cruz was square with them. When I met them, I saw something in their son. I said, he can go. Are you all ready for him to go? Mm. And what's amazing, Marco's parents said, Coach, we with you. We'll ride with you. If you say our son has some ability to go, we're going to see if you're a man of your word. And he ends up at Valparaiso University. He's from Southern California.
Wow.
But he's a Valpo. You know, Valco boy about them books.
And he's a black kid?
No, he's a I think he's, let me say he's a multi-racial.
Yeah. Cali.
Yeah, he's a Cali kid. You know what I'm saying? No talent. You know what I mean? But I had it with me last night. He come to Gately last night, and he was amazed at the difference in the way Friday Night Lights is in California.
Yeah.
Compared to Friday Night Lights on 103rd and Cottage Grove.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Very different.
He came to Friday Night Lights on 103rd and Cottage Grove, and he was kind of sit back like, oh.
In the city.
There ain't 20 people in there.
It's different, yeah. It's
you know what I'm saying?
The city is different.
Yeah. Go, wait, they ain't got but 20 people. They got up maybe 100. What's going on here, you know?
The input of the mothers, inner city mothers is
it's different.
That's a topic.
Yeah.
That's a topic, and especially with their sons.
Yeah.
Because I feel like so many of my friends, if they were the men of the house, and we're all teenagers, mm-hmm. right? There was so much pressure on them in a way it was not pressure on, like on me. Like I had my mom and my dad, right? That's right. But it was so much pressure on them where I often felt like the mothers were in a relationship with their sons. The sons were like, not only did they have to go to school, not only did they have to go to football, but also that they had to deal with every emotional aspect of their moms as though they were their partners, as though they were their husbands.
Yes, I agree.
Which was always very clear to me, always blew my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you interact with that being a coach?
Well, I sometimes had to tell moms, you know, we were the dean students at the same time. So I brought a mom in, football player, but we really need to talk about what I see in this relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I often had to tell moms, you know, that ain't your husband.
Yeah.
Just straight up. That ain't your husband. That's not your boyfriend.
Well, they don't have the emotional capacity for that, though. You don't have the emotional capacity to be in a relationship.
No.
I mean, it was just so much pressure.
It affected the way they dealt with girls at Englewood.
Yes.
It really affected the way they dealt with girls at Englewood.
How did it affect?
Well, we gonna argue. We in high school. What are we arguing about?
Yeah.
You know, I got to bring them in the office and say, look, y'all act like y'all married. Y'all boyfriend and girlfriend, y'all 16. When you get 20, you ain't going to remember him.
Yeah.
When you go to the University of and he stay here and get a job, you ain't looking back at him. You looking at the joker that's in the business department at the university, and you, man, I didn't know it was like this.
All of you guys' photos go down.
Exactly.
That first semester.
First semester, the picture's gone. You know what I mean? You come to the dorm room, you're like, well, that ain't Bobby. You know what I'm saying? From 63rd and Princeton. You know, who's that guy? You know what I'm saying? This some guy that learned how to shave, put on a shirt and tie, you know, and she not even coming home no more.
Yeah.
But y'all were arguing because his mother would not let him go.
Yeah.
His mother would not let him go. He had the potential to go, but his mother needed him there or wanted him there to play the role of what she was not getting.
She didn't want him to go to college.
Right.
Per se. Yeah, I saw that a lot.
You know what I mean?
They didn't want to be alone.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to be alone.
I don't want you to leave me.
Yeah.
Well, he's not leaving you.
Yeah.
He's growing to help you. You let him go, he's going to grow to help you. You know.
Many kids felt that they had to. I know a lot of young men that should have went to school, should have left, should have went to the army,
something,
to the military or something.
Yeah.
They didn't because they felt that pressure from their moms.
Yeah, moms don't want you to go.
No.
You know.
Yeah, it was really a big observation that you have very early is that how these family structures for a lot of these young men really, I mean, it's very obvious, but when you're actually living it and you're seeing it, especially when you're young, you don't quite understand what you're seeing. Like I didn't quite understand the observations that I was having with my friends, with my teammates in the community about how their family structure was going to propel them or not, right? And these little small dynamics where the pressure to be, you know, you have society saying, like you just said, like, oh, we want you to be a more humble man, but like in reality, in people's and a more realistic person's day-to-day life, their family is expecting them to be the man.
That's right.
Especially if there's no father around.
That's right.
Or no husband around, right? So yeah, it's very, I'm sure you saw a lot of that. And it was very just gut-wrenching to see someone lose their potential because of how their family structure was.
What the family structure is. You know, you have guys, you had teammates who had to get up in the morning, take their brother and sister to school. You know, I would always tell guys, bring them here. Bring your brother and sister here. Need you at practice, bring them here. We got 100 eyes, we'll watch them.
Yeah, we'll watch them.
You know, so they had to be a big brother.
Yeah.
They almost had to be a husband to some degree. They had to be a father, because they'd been a father to their little brothers and sisters. Then they had to be a student. And doing all those things say adult. But when they walk in that school building, I'm telling them, no, dog, you're a kid. And that's how you're gonna carry yourself here. You know, you're going to carry yourself like you're a kid. And they like, Coach, I do these things. You're not a man. You're a child.
Yeah.
And here you can be a child. Forget all that's out there that you have to do and come here and be a student, be a kid, you know, and figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, I've been doing medical surgical missions for a significant portion of my professional life, right? Going to countries, we fix the cleft lip, cleft repairs, all types of procedures. And some of these places you go to, like, you find out the kids can't go to school, and they're from a village, but they can't go to school because they have to watch their siblings, right? A lot of the girls, they can't go to college because the mom is expecting them to actually just take care of her siblings, her little brothers and sisters. They can't even go to high school half of the time because, again, in that village, they have a lot of responsibilities. The boys have responsibilities. And I've seen places where, like, yeah, they just literally got to go catch fish or herd goats or whatever. They can't really go to school, right? And it was always so stark to see that, like, in America, right? Because growing up in Chicago, you had this dichotomy, right? Especially growing up in Englewood, you had this dichotomy where you're literally living in one of the richest cities on earth.
That's right.
But then in some certain areas of the city, it's like you're living in an African village where we're doing medical missions, right? They're the same dynamics, the same things pulling. This was something for me, like, I struggle with a lot because I always felt the cultural richness of where I was from, right? Simultaneously, so many friends growing up, man, you can see how their lives were really affected by the economic restraints of their reality.
Yeah. You lost a lot of teammates. You lost a lot of teammates to the streets.
Yeah.
And they were products of unfortunately, a family dynamic in most cases that precipitated that.
Yeah.
That if there are 4 boys in the family, somebody's going to the penitentiary.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to the cemetery. And maybe one of them is going to get out.
And get out, we don't even know what that means.
Get out
means they're still alive, but we don't know where they are.
We just don't know where they are. You know what I mean?
We don't know
we don't know what happened to them.
We don't know what's going on.
We don't know
how good the quality of life is.
We don't.
And a lot of those kids, like, we didn't know because, they would become men. We didn't know because they were just shell shocked from life. So they're living in the middle of some state, like not even in Illinois at all. They're in some other place, living, and they're just shell shocked. They don't want any part of it. They want
no part of where they came from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They will accept a role in a different environment as long as it does not reflect where they came from.
Yeah, yeah.
And, unfortunately, we lost hordes of guys.
Yeah. How would you train coaches in the future to deal with that loss?
Well,
because it's a part of, you got the championships, right? You get the playoffs, but a large part of your coaching identity was dealing with these really deep factors in the community.
Yeah. Well, I try to tell young guys, I told my son, take what you got and make it better. You cannot come to me in August and be the same guy in June. You can't. If you are, I did not have success with you. I failed as a coach. You have to meet a kid where he is in his environment and accept it. You don't like it. It's frustrating to you. How do I get him out of here? How do I get him to a different mindset? Got to get him in a different mindset, and then to a different environment. Even if it is that city a long way away from Chicago.
Yeah.
That he draws to, but it is unlike where he is.
Yeah.
And if he's successful over there, then that's where he should be.
There's something about that, I think, particularly for young men in trying to find yourself. You look at every civilization of leaders, the Romans, the Ottomans, they sent the Caesar, the Sultan, the ruler, they sent those boys out.
That's right.
Oh, you're the son of whoever? We're sending you out. You have to go figure it out.
Yes.
And you're going to the outskirts of the empire where it's a little shady.
It's shady. That's right.
Mongols might be raiding. They come through, right? You got to go out there and you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. I've given you the tools.
Yes.
You're 12, by the way.
Yeah.
But I've given you the tools to make it. Now you have to go out and prove yourself. For yourself and to other people, but you have to prove yourself for yourself to give you that internal confidence.
Yes.
And it's something about, I know you were very big on that, just like getting young men out of that environment.
Yes.
Getting them out of Englewood, putting them, they can be 3-4 hours away. It's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
Not be consumed by the culture.
Yes.
Of the city.
I often told you guys that, Chicago, I said, once you cross Lincoln Highway out here on I-57, you down south.
Yeah.
You in the South. Those people out there think different than the people who do on 63rd and Princeton. So you're out, but my whole objective was that I gotta get you out of here.
Yeah.
And if I get you out of here, you're gonna see something different. So guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna think different. You're gonna be different.
Yeah.
And when you come back, young people are gonna be looking at you. Hey, that's Starkey. You remember when he used to go to Englewood? And now look at him. He's doing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we all become vessels to change the mindset of people by going away. I cannot stay in Chicago, I don't think, and have young people look at me and say he's changed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think you got to get out.
You have to.
You got to get out.
You have to get exposed. You have to. One thing about seeing your reality outside of itself and individually, like on its own, is you realize that it's just a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a story. And then you go to another place. Yeah. And it's another narrative.
Yes.
And it's another story. And, I remember one time I had a layover. This was many years ago. I had a layover and God, where was it? Was it Buffalo? Oh, yes, it was Buffalo. I had a layover random, so I had to spend the night there. I got up in the morning, and I remember them talking about the Bills. The Bills weren't doing that well. And, I'm just in line waiting, I'm at the airport, just I don't have any headphones in. I'm just hearing people talk. And I was like, man, they're talking about how bad they were, and how bad the game was last night because it was Monday morning, right? So how bad the game was and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, I could be anywhere in this country right now.
But I'm sitting
the same
That's right.
narrative. Like, it's not that dissimilar, but it's totally different. Like, that's different coach, different players. Everything was completely different. But the narrative was very similar, which lets you know it's like you have to get out and see what you have that's similar and what you have that's different from other people, because it gives you perspective on life. Because then you realize, like, well, there are certain things that are just universal that you're going to find across the board. Everybody is going to want their kid to have a good life. How they express that, how they know how to get to that, that's a different thing.
It's a different story.
Everybody wants, a nice house. How they get that, what they think is nice, that's completely different. Totally different. But you start to see these themes that are across the board that help you kind of realize, like, okay, I got a limited time on earth. What themes matter to me?
What matters to me? Yeah. It's and the only way you really get to the point where you understand that is that you've done what? Got out.
You got out. Yeah.
You have to get out. You got some teammates who wanted coach, one day I'm gonna have a 5-bedroom house and, I'm gonna have driveways I can park 10 cars in. And then you had another teammate that said, man, look, I just wanna have a 2-bedroom crib. Nice family, you know what I'm saying? A nice car. And I'm good.
Yeah.
And they both got out.
Yeah.
But one went to school in teeny tiny Mississippi.
Yeah.
And the other one went to school in Ames, Iowa, where bigger is better.
Yeah.
And the kid who went to school in the South, he saw people enjoying life with some of the most simple things.
Simple things, yeah.
Fishing rod outside the front door.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The dog in the backyard barking.
Yeah.
Fireplace going and, the wood crackling, and he's loving it. And then this kid who went to school in Iowa, well, he saw mansions.
Yeah.
And he met girls who wanted to have mansions. That guy over there, he met a girl who said, listen, if we just get us a nice little small house in the country. Now, they both do degrees. They both have degrees. Yeah. The wives got degrees.
The desires are completely different.
But they got out.
Yeah.
They were able to form those different mentalities. Now, when they come together, they teammates from high school at Englewood back in 1998.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all they can say is just, boy, I see you doing good. You know what I mean? His doing good and his doing good, two totally different things. But they are doing good. They're doing better than they ever would have done had they just stayed in the Englewood community.
Yeah.
You see, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So we need to get you out so that you'll have an opportunity to form that mentality of what is good and what is right for you. And then we're successful. We're great.
People that come from disadvantaged backgrounds, neighborhoods, the hood, whatever. Some make it, some don't.
Yep.
You've seen a lot that have done both.
Yes.
What separates the ones that make it from the ones that do not?
All of them hear something. All of them have been told something. But the ones who make it, they take something that they heard from somebody and they roll with it. The ones who don't hear something, but they do absolutely nothing with it. You heard something.
Yeah. And
you roll with it. Well, I can think of some of your teammates who heard something, but they didn't roll with it. They stayed the course that they were already on, which led to not being successful or being as successful as they could have been.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a resilience, isn't it? I feel as though there's so many people that I felt were poorer than I was, right? Like we really didn't have a lot of material.
That's right.
I remember the first time I ever had Air Force Ones, I was like 17. Yeah. And everybody, this is Chicago. Everybody has Jordans. Everybody had ones and Jordans at 7, 6, 5 babies. Yeah. Babies have I would walk past someone with a baby and I would say, Oh, that's nice. They have Jordans. I wish I could.
Yeah.
16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did read sometime what helps people get out of bad situations is their ability to be resilient, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, taking something, so many voices, but taking something that was said, something that they heard, something that they saw, and say, okay, hey, I identified. That's it.
That's it.
That sounds like it's it.
That's it.
And I think the ones that don't make it, they hear it too, but for some reason,
there's no reaction.
It doesn't do anything. They're not curious about it.
It's not curious. I'm not willing to chase it. I'm not willing to just reach out just a little bit. Because if you reach out a little bit, it's going to start to affect you.
Yeah.
You know, and then you reach out a little more, you know. So we all hear something. It's how we react to what we hear.
Yeah.
You know, I heard something tell me, leave your mom and daddy house. It's okay. You're going to be all right. You know, football is going to sustain you. And then grandma said, you know, anytime grandma tell you, it's law. You know, grandma said, baby, come on. I got you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I heard something and I reacted. And here we are 50 years later. And the game is still being good to me and my family.
Do you believe, so you made that decision. Well, how old were you? 14, 15?
I was 16, 17 years old, yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't even get a chance to play like Little League football or anything like that.
No, wasn't none of that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe that there are things that happen to us in life, like especially when we're young. And oftentimes, like, we don't know what the implications of the choices that we're making, where they're going to take us, right?
We don't. That's right.
But there are questions, there are times that we're asked a question, and you were asked that question about life, right? What do you want to do?
Yep.
And that decision that you make is the one that changes your trajectory of your life.
Yes, it does.
We don't oftentimes know what they are.
That's right.
Sometimes they seem very casual. It could have just been another, you know, your decision to play football or not, and to defy your parents at 16, which means you had to leave the house. There were consequences.
Yes, there were consequences
for your behavior.
That's right. That's definitely right.
You decide to leave, or you could have stayed, but that could have just been another teenage parental argument of arguments, and it could have went away.
Yeah.
But the fact that you decided to act on it, it completely changed the trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
And I believe that we all do that. I believe we all have. When I look back at my life, I always think about it was certain things, certain decisions that I decided to make. I'm not going to go hang out with this group of people anymore. I'm not going to hang out with these guys. And it's nothing that they have. I'm not going over there. It's nothing. It's small, right? Or actually, I think I am going to try to shoot for this scholarship, you know, and see what happens. Like, maybe if I talk to the state rep, they'll give it to me. It'll work. Yeah, it'll help me, you know, take some pressure off of my parents, off of myself to pay for this education. Make these decisions, but they're oftentimes, they're not supported, and they often look like the worst decision.
Yes.
But it's you against destiny.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And listen, I could have left my parents' house. My family was a very different kind of family. We were strict. Listen, we made money on the streets. You understand?
Really?
And my uncle said to me, my father's brother said to me, nephew, this ain't you.
Yeah.
This ain't your life. This ain't the life for you. Go with your teammates.
Yeah.
Here's a little money. Go with your teammates, go to practice. Now, they looked out for me. They made sure that I didn't have to come back to that kind of thing. But all of us, you know, and I really didn't get to hang out with my my father's side of the family until I went with my grandmother.
Yeah.
And at the snap of a finger, I could have been one of them dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
one of those dudes amongst many other dudes.
Yes.
Like another street dude. There's no end of street dudes.
There's no end to them. You know?
Nothing special about it.
And grandma would just be like, baby, ain't you supposed to be at practice?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Uncle William would be like, hey, boy, any practice that? You see what I'm saying? I can remember Mr. Fluky saying to me one day, listen, boy, what you doing here? It's time for practice, ain't it? You know what I mean? I'm saying, man, they really don't want me to be about this.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got it.
Yeah.
Now I got it. My mother didn't want me to be a part of it. But my father's side of the family said, you're not going to be a part of this that we're about. You see what I'm saying? So the only thing that was left in the middle was football.
Yeah.
And they were all now, I remember one day my father was reading the paper. I'm at Crane High School. I leave Simeon, I'm at Crane. Father reading the paper. He said, son, you see that boy, that Cruz boy over there at Crane? Man, that boy, he had 2 touchdowns and a couple of sacks. Now, I'm that guy he's reading about.
Yeah.
Now, if you was like him, he got to be related to you because his name's spelled the same as yours. He got to relate to you. Boy, you probably got a family member over there at Crane playing football.
Yeah.
And he got good numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying to my father, now I moved out of the house, but I would always go by, just to holler at my parents. And he's saying, boy, if you was like that boy Crane, boy, you be hot stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Meanwhile.
But he's not knowing
that
is me.
Yeah.
They don't even know I left Simeon.
You that dude.
They didn't even know I left Simeon. They found out I left Simeon grade pickup night my senior year. They go to Simeon to pick up the grades, and the people at Simeon say, well, what you mean he's still here? You know what I'm saying? Y'all better come in the office. We need to talk. You know what I mean? So, at that point, I knew we're going to be all right. This game is going to take care of me. It's going to sustain me. I just have to do what's right, And just funny, man. You step out on faith. You have to. Our young people need to understand that you got to believe in self. Got to believe in self.
You do.
You got to believe in self. You cannot... If you believe in somebody else more than you believe in self, it's something
That's the wrong kind of delusion.
Yeah.
Like to believe in self without any proof is self-delusional, but that's the self-delusion that's okay.
Yes.
If you don't have anything for self, but you have it for other people, that's the worst delusion. That's the worst type of delusion.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, So I didn't know what I was doing at that time.
Yeah.
But I knew that it was something about this game that made me say, I want that.
Yeah.
And now it could have been the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1971.
Yeah.
I've been a Steelers fan since 1971.
Too long.
Too long. You see what I'm saying? It could have been, it truly could have been what I saw on television that said, I like that.
Yeah.
I was champ in the neighborhood. Everybody called me champ.
Yeah.
I was the dude.
You had the size.
I was
like
champ. Right.
Player.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna be all right. You know what I mean? So but yeah, we are, and I don't know if we teach our young people to believe in self first.
Yeah.
Or if we expose them to believe in self. And then they have to take it where they're gonna take it, But at some point, it has to hit you. I want to be Dr. Salam. You see what I'm saying? You don't believe that, then you may be great, but you may be Taki, the manager or the district manager for Walgreens.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
But you have to believe.
But you got to believe.
You have to believe. For me, before I came to Inglewood, I had lived overseas, right? I don't know if you remember that, but I had been shipped overseas. I was living in the Middle East. I was going to boarding school in the Middle East.
I remember.
And
I thought it was so unique.
Yeah, it was crazy because I had my parents, my dad, they sent me over there because, they wanted me to learn languages, right? And so 14 years old, I'm in Damascus, Syria.
I remember you telling the story.
And it's a culture shock. Yeah. Like, I don't know what my parents were thinking, but it was nuts. And nothing went according to plan, right? Mm-hmm. The places I was supposed to stay, the people I was supposed to stay with, the school I was supposed to go to, all of these things fell apart, completely collapsed. And I remember, you had to get a phone card and get on a pay phone to call your family. And these phone cards were $20 for like 3.5 minutes to call back to America. Yeah. I didn't have a lot of money. Right. And the guy I was staying with, I got kicked out the house. So it was a situation to say the least, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember calling my parents, And they said, you got to come back home. They were like, come back. We'll send for you. And I said, no. I said I was going to stick it out for this year, this 2 years or whatever. I was like, I'm not going back home. And I was basically on the run in a foreign country because they were sending everyone looking for me. No one knew where I lived. But at that point in my life, at 14, it was my time. I was itching to get out the gate, and I was just ready to go. I was like, listen, yeah, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back home. I'm going to be here. I'm going to complete the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was always the point because it changed my complete worldview of life. You got a kid from Inglewood, Chicago, black kid. It was an immigrant, by the way, now, going to live in the Middle East.
At that time.
And you're talking about, this is no war going on. This is 1999, 2000, right? You're talking about, this is one of the most ancient parts of the universe. Yeah. I mean, this is Babylon. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's Iraq next door, but you get what I'm saying. Like, Assyrians and Hammurabi Code and all of these different things, right? So it's so ancient. And then you take someone from the New World, you pluck them over there, and they're like, survive. It completely changed my perspective of things, right? I never knew what I was outside of being like a kid that grew up on the South Side. When I was there, I was an American, right? Mm-hmm. I had a completely different status over there, right? People assumed that I was rich, which I was not, right? I was very broke.
How you get over here? You ain't got no money.
They like, oh, you must be rich. So I was treated so well, which was one of the things I think really super increased my confidence. Mm-hmm. But also, I got to see myself not just as a kid from Chicago, not just as like a black kid, not even as a poor kid. I get to see myself in this international context, right? Yeah. Which allowed me to also, like when I came back to America, like I knew where people were from. If people were coming, they would try to front on me like they came. I was like, where do you live and where's that? I was like, oh, actually that, where's the Englewood, by the way? Right. So it gave me the context to really filter information, which ultimately gave me huge, what I love to call supreme confidence and understanding, being able to tackle any person or any concept, any place, because it just felt comfortable. That's what you had to do in Syria. You had to know. So in the Middle East, is so many different groups of people. And I was just there as a kid amongst these people, just learning about civilization, learning about the world, learning about history, learning politics, learning tribalism, learning nationhood, statehood, all of these things I'm learning whilst I'm going to school. But it all came from that one decision not to come home, to disobey my parents. And say, no, I'm not coming back home. I'm staying here. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, young people have to get to that point. Some young people don't get to that till they get to college.
Yeah.
They get to college and, mom says, you need to come home this week. Well, no, I ain't coming home for Thanksgiving. I'm going to teeny tiny Arkansas. I want to see how they do it in teeny tiny. I'm going to whatever. I'm going somewhere that I've never been before. I can remember I'm in the States. I'm at home, and I lived with families in Arkansas. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, baby, you can go back there and sleep. It's a space for you back there. And but when you get back there, it's 4 other kids sleeping in the bed. They got like 2 king-size mattresses together. Somebody face this way, somebody face that way, but everybody's sleeping well.
Yeah.
I moved into Rockwell Gardens when I left. I grew up in Beverly. My parents moved us into Beverly when I was 8th grader.
Beverly is great.
You see what I'm telling you? Moved into Beverly.
Yeah. And moving on up.
Yeah. And I get to my junior in high school and decide I'm leaving my parents' house. And grandma said, well, baby, Miss Blackburn said you could stay over to their house in Rockwell Gardens.
Yeah. Which is not a garden.
No, it's not a garden. You know what I'm saying?
It might be a project.
But it ain't no garden.
It might be a project garden, but it's not.
It ain't no garden. You know what I mean? Miss Blackburn let me stay at their crib. And again, we got beds, laid out, and Leo to sleep there, Travis sleep there, Randy sleep there. And Miss Blackburn said, y'all got to make some room for Cruz. Cruz got to have somewhere to sleep. He ain't going home. He going to stay over here with us during the week.
Yeah.
You know, Miss Blackburn she's not the most well-off person, but you know, when Miss Blackburn breaks up the eggs, the 4 eggs that she got for all these kids, and then I'm telling you about the boys. I ain't told you about Brenda and Leela and Sheila Faye, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like 7 of them, and here come this dude.
Yeah.
You know, who's a senior in high school that just want to, he hungry. And Miss Blackburn said, we got to feed Cruz too.
Yeah.
And they looking like,
another one,
mama. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm in there, you know, so, you know, I could have said, you know what, I quit, I'm done. But I left my parents' house.
Yeah.
I got to make this thing work. You know what I mean? And every family that allowed me to be a part of their lives on the West Side, the Porter family, you know, the Earl family, you know, Ed Ross's family. These people opened their doors to a guy who lived in Beverly.
Yeah. Far
Why
away.
is he over here perpetrating like he living in the Jets?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah.
You got what I'm saying? So we just, you know, our young people need to learn how to evolve. And when they do that, they end up being like yourself. You know, they're successful.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all we want from them. Now there has to be some pressure on you to be successful, but it has to come from within.
You gotta come from somewhere. You gotta want it. You gotta be curious. You have to want something. Yeah. Wow. How many years 30 years, 40 years you been coaching?
My first coaching job was in 1984.
Wow.
Yeah, at the University of Arkansas,
years.
University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff.
Wow.
That's right, my first coaching job. And have not missed a season since. I've had some ailments, and I tell people I've had some health issues.
Yeah.
But God always seems to have those health issues for me in the off season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can get back for the season. You know, you know what I mean? So, 1984.
What do you hope your legacy will be?
Coach Cruz was hard, but he was fair. He was hard, but he was fair. And he didn't know any other way to be. He wanted the best for every kid he ever coached. He wanted the best for every kid he ever coached. They had the opportunity to determine if they wanted what he wanted for them. But definitely, he was hard, but he was fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was hard, but he was fair.
Yeah. That's all. The hardness is what I remember to teach the lesson to a bunch of pups, you know, to get it to penetrate their brains.
Yeah.
But the wisdom of those lessons is something that I keep with me.
Yeah.
And then and I teach my children, and hopefully my grandchildren, those lessons of staying the course.
Yep, stay the course.
How to win.
Yep.
How to lose.
Yep.
Those lessons that you gave me and that you gave so many other people, they are going to live for an eternity.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, well,
no doubt.
Thank you for coming on, Coach.
No doubt, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you coming
yes,
on.
Sir. No doubt.
That was great.
No doubt. Yes, sir. Love you, man.
Love you too.
Yeah.